Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. It is Saturday evening. Boy, just a few more hours and we'll be on our way to Florida. Got the boarding passes printed. I splurged a little bit and I upgraded to seat 1A and seat 1B. Had to do it. Why not? Got pre-TSA, so I will be entering the airplane first. That'll give us the opportunity to load our stuff up in the upper luggage compartment without anybody else getting in our way. Yeah, that's how I roll. All right, so today we went to see Nathan and he was still suffering from a fever. Poor kid. We did not go out to dinner. We had to order in some Chinese. And so we had a nice time. He made a beautiful little Father's Day card for me. And he said, "I love you, Grandpa." And then he drew a picture of he and I walking together. And he gave me hair. You gotta love that boy. Man. Anyway, so he still doesn't know we're coming along. He told us that, he's gonna be gone for 6 days and that he's gonna miss me for 6 days. And I told him, well, I'm gonna miss you too, my boy. So we'll see what happens tomorrow when he sees us at the terminal, because we're gonna be there probably long before he and his mom and dad arrive. I want to show you what I just picked up on eBay just a few days ago. In fact, it arrived Friday, yesterday. The color checker passport from X-Rite. This is a must-have tool. And why is that? Well, most people who want to achieve the highest level of color management, they think it just pertains to the monitor calibration and, of course, the creation of a great performing ICC profile for your printer. But they forget about the camera. The camera has a sensor that often does not translate the colors that the lens records onto that sensor correctly and accurately. So you have to be able to create some sort of correction profile for that. And so this is where this little device comes in. Basically, it looks like a little pocketbook. Here's a gray card. For those of you who know what a gray card is, anybody that shot back in the film days knows what that is. This is what you get. Now, let's set up a scenario. You are out on a shoot, either shooting a model or doing some landscape photography or something indoors in the studio. You will set that up where the light that you are using to illuminate your subject falls directly on it. And then you will then take a close-up of this, close enough so that you include the whole notebook. And then you would just go click and make sure that it is in RAW format. Make sure your exposure is correct, of course, and so on. Then you will go back to your software. You will have this software installed right here. You will load your raw image of this card. And then using your cropping tool, you will select out everything else except for this right here. Now, when you then click next, the software will create little cropping squares around each one of these little patches. It will identify them. It knows what to look for. It knows what to expect. So what will happen is this. Since the software knows what these values are, this is black, this is white, 4 grays, and a myriad of colors. And it knows what they should be and what they should look like. It will analyze them. It will then figure out that, wait a minute, some of these don't match what I am expecting it to be. And so then it creates a correction table that it will then utilize to create a specific profile for that camera, that lens, and that lighting condition. And that's what is important. You will have to make one of these every time your lighting condition changes. Well, some people say, well, forget it. That's too much trouble. It takes you 10 seconds to do this. Not too much trouble. What will happen then, it will create a profile, and then you will be able to apply that profile in Photoshop or Lightroom. And so when you load up your rest of your pictures that were done during that particular shoot, you will apply that profile to all of them. and it will then create a correction. It will take what should have been this color, it turned out very cyan, it will then become that color again. Okay. Let me retract a little bit. If I show you the raw image that I will take of this on my calibrated monitor and I put this next to it, the colors will not match. They will be off slightly, this way, that way, this way, that way. And so that's what the profile is going to correct. It's going to apply the profile to that same image, and all of a sudden, magically, that image on the monitor will match this that you have with your naked eye. You will be able to match the two. Once you have achieved that, that's the first step in the correct 3-step color management program. And so then you can begin to edit your images knowing that what you are looking at has been rendered correctly. It's rendered as the lens saw it, okay? Now, the lens also imparts a slight shift, but it's a global shift in color. The sensor, no, the sensor, it's affected by the spectra of the color. So sometimes blues are shifted more than magentas are, and so on. Yellows may be shifted more than greens are. So once you create that profile, it'll be a custom profile for that lighting situation, that lens, that camera, and the sensor the camera has, of course. Now comes the second step. You load that image, you correct it, and now you have to make sure that the monitor is also correct. So that's where monitor calibration comes into play. But you already knew that. And then, of course, a good ICC profile to print what the monitor sends to the printer. But then, again, you already knew that. So that is your 3-step process. Now, some of you have tried this in the past, and it has not worked out very well for you. But I'm hoping that in the next week when I get back, I will be able to demonstrate this process to you guys, and hopefully you will be able to embrace it. Now, remember, I got this for about $39, and it normally says for $100. The box is a little bit dog-eared, but internally everything is perfect. Got it for 39 bucks on eBay with about $4 shipping charge. Just terrific value for something like this. This will achieve Nirvana, literally, for your color management. This will then finally close the triangle. If you just do monitor and printer, it's only 2 sides of the triangle. You need to complete that triangle by including camera calibration. All right. Everybody that is serious studio photographer, outdoor photography, still life, portraiture, weddings, uses this type of system. By the way, I'll leave you with this example. I did a wedding about 2 years ago. The girls had the most incredible deep blue cyan set of dresses on. My sensor did not see it the way it was supposed to be. Fortunately, I had shot a color checker during that shoot before the wedding began. The lighting remained constant, so that was lucky for me. But I went ahead and did that. Then I had something that I could apply to those series of shots. And you've seen that shot. I have a big print that I made. All of the girls are lined up, and the guys on the right side, and the girls have these deep cyan dresses on. They were not deep cyan before that correction. And had I provided those girls with those images, they may not have been very happy. They would have said, hey, my dress wasn't lavender. My dress was, they call it blue, but really it's cyan. So yeah, by applying that correcting profile to the image that just came out of the camera, then you can proceed to your calibrated monitor, knowing that what you are viewing in the monitor started off being correct to begin with. How about that? Now the monitor will allow those corrected colors to be displayed correctly, and then the printer is going to happily take those values through a good ICC profile for that paper and that ink and that particular printer model, and produce the best print you will ever see in your whole printing career. You have to close that triangle. You need all 3 sides to make this wonder actually take place. All right, thank you so much. Listen, I'll be back in 1 week. I'm going to be looking at all your comments while I am there. I will be probably spending the last half hour of my evening scanning through my tablet. I will be able to answer whatever you ask me. So don't stop asking me questions or posting comments. Go ahead. I invite you to look at my over 760 videos that I have. Have a good time looking at my videos. I have some stuff that's still pertinent. Most of it is still makes perfect sense today, even this day. So look at that stuff. Ask me whatever you want. I want to create more dialogue. I have been answering every question and comment that I possibly can. And I'm sure I'm probably the only guy in the world that does that owns a YouTube channel. Most owners do not even bother to answer questions or comments, and I make it a point to do so. And I do that because I appreciate you guys' support. You guys have made this little venture possible for me. So thank you once again. So please subscribe, please share, and of course, please like. And so until the next time, after I see my angel of a mom, I love you, darling, and I see Nathan standing next to Mickey, I will get a picture of that and show you guys. Happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.